Today we're going to take a closer look at a special kind of triangle. We are going to be looking at our isosceles triangle. Now, an isosceles triangle has two congruent legs and two congruent base angles. So the parts of an isosceles triangle are two congruent sides or legs. We know that these are congruent because they are marked with that hash mark, meaning congruent. So our legs are leg AB and leg BC. And since they are marked as congruent, the two side legs are congruent. The angles where the legs intersect is called the vertex angle. In this example, angle ABC, or angle 1, is referred to as our vertex angle. The side opposite of the vertex angle is called the base. So opposite of my vertex angle is called my base. That would be a line segment AC. And the angles along the base are called the base angles. So in this case, angle 2 and angle 3 are called my base angles. Our base angles will always be opposite of our two congruent legs. So our theorem states, and a theorem is just a proven mathematical fact, if two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the opposite angles are also congruent. So we would write it using mathematical notation like so. If side AB is congruent to side BC, then angle 2 must be congruent to angle 3. Or if you want to replace the numbers with the angle letter, you could also say angle A is congruent to angle B. And that is in reference to this example above. If two angles are congruent, then the opposite sides of those angles are also congruent. So we call this the converse of a theorem because it's like saying the same thing but backwards, kind of like Converse shoes. That Converse emblem is on the inside of the ankle and not the outside, so it kind of looks backwards. So if two angles of a triangle are congruent, then the sides opposite of those angles are congruent. So, for example, if angle A is congruent to angle B, then we know that the two sides opposite of those angles are also congruent. So let's take a moment to do a couple examples using that theorem. So in example number 1, I want to identify my congruent legs of my triangle. And since they're already marked, I know that side JK is congruent to side KL. And because those two sides are congruent, the angles directly across of them must also be congruent. Since angle J and angle L are congruent, I know that angle J measures 68 degrees. Now, in order to find angle K, I need to refer back to my triangle sum theorem that says three angles of any triangle will add up to 180 degrees. So I have 68 degrees plus an additional 68 degrees plus some unknown value must equal 180 degrees. So 136 plus x equals 180. I subtract 106 from both sides, and my value for x is 44 degrees. Let's try another one. Triangle CDE is an isosceles triangle because two of its legs are marked with the hash mark. Therefore, their opposite base angles are also congruent. Unlike the last example, these angles do not have an angle measurement, but I do know that they have to be exactly the same. So I'm going to put the letter x to symbolize an unknown value. And since they're identical, I can use the same variable for both corners. So I'm going to use my triangle sum theorem that says all three angles of a triangle must add up to 180. Therefore, x plus 106 must equal 180. So 2x plus 106 equals 180 degrees. If I subtract 106 from both sides, then my value for 2x is 74. If I divide both sides by 2, my value for x then becomes 37. So each one of my base angles measures 37 degrees. Let's take a look at number 3. This time I have two congruent base angles, and my theorem states that if I have two congruent base angles, then the sides directly opposite of those angles are also congruent. Therefore, xy is exactly the same as yz. Since I know that the value for xy is 12 centimeters and yz happens to be the exact same size, then line segment YZ is also 12 centimeters. Lastly, I'm asked to find the third angle of my triangle. If I use my triangle angle sum theorem, I know that all three corners of any triangle add up to 180 degrees. Since I don't know the value for a measure of angle Y, I will use the letter X. So 77 plus another 77 plus X has to equal 180 degrees. Therefore, 154 plus x must equal 180 degrees. I'll subtract 154 from both sides, and that would leave me with the value of 26. Therefore, angle of measure y is 26 degrees. So let's apply the same concept to a triangle with unknown angle measurements. So just looking at my picture, I do know that I have two sides that are congruent because they're marked with that hash mark. If two sides of a triangle are congruent, then their opposite base angles are also congruent. Since one of my angles is 5x plus 9, and the second angle is 8x minus 30, and I know that these two angles are congruent, I know that these statements must be equal. So 5x plus 9 equals 8x minus 30. I first start by subtracting 5x from both sides to combine like terms. This leaves me 9 equals 3x minus 30. Then I will add 30 to both sides in order to combine my like terms. That leaves me with 39 is equal to 3x. Lastly, I will divide both sides by 3, leaving me a value of 13 for my variable. In order to figure out the size or measurement of both of these angles, I simply substitute my variable x into my expressions. And since I know that these angles are congruent, I only need to substitute one of those. So 8 times 13 minus 30 is equal to 104 minus 30. Then I know that my base angle is 74 degrees. Since one base angle is 74 degrees, then I also know that its congruent base angle is also 74 degrees. Let's try another one. This time, let's solve for a missing side. So if I look at this picture, I have two congruent base angles. And since I know that two congruent base angles results in two congruent sides of any isosceles triangle, then I know that the sides opposite of my base angle are congruent. Therefore, these two edges of my isosceles triangle are congruent. And by definition, congruent means that they are equal. Therefore, 15x plus 7 must be equal to 23x minus 17. I start by subtracting 15x in order to isolate a variable, leaving me 7 equals 8x minus 17. I add 17 to both sides in order to combine my integers. Therefore, I'm left with 24 equals 8x. My last step is to divide both sides by 8. Therefore, x equals 3. In order to find the length of my side of my isosceles triangle, I am going to substitute my x value in my expression for the number 3. So 15 times 3 plus 7 is equivalent to 45 plus 7, which is equal to 52. Therefore, both sides of my isosceles triangle are 15 units long. Let's try just two more examples. Let's take a look at this particular isosceles triangle where I'm solving for two base angles. So if I look at the markings on my isosceles triangle, I have two sides that are congruent. And they're congruent because they have the exact same marks on them. By definition, if I have two congruent sides of any given triangle, then the angles opposite of those sides are also congruent. These are also called my base angles. Since they are congruent, I can set each one of these expressions equal to each other and solve for x. So I start by subtracting 4x from both sides. This leaves me 7 equals 5x minus 33. I add 33 to both sides in order to isolate my x value. That leaves me with a total of 40 equals 5x. If I divide both sides by 5, then my value for x is 8. Since I know my value for x is equal to 8, I can substitute x into either one of these expressions in order to calculate the measurement of that angle. So 9 times 8 minus 33. 9 times 8 is 72. 72 minus 33 is 39. So my base angle is 39 degrees. And since these two angles are congruent, they will both measure 39 degrees. For our last example, we are going to be looking for the value of the sides of an isosceles triangle. So when I look at the picture, I see that two angles are exactly the same. And by definition, if two base angles are exactly the same, then the sides across from those angles must also be exactly the same. So I have 9x minus 73 is equal to 3x plus 23. I start by subtracting 3x from both sides to get all of my variables on the same side of my equal sign. So 6x minus 73 is equal to 23. I then add 73 to both sides in order to isolate my variable, leaving me 6x is equal to 96. When I divide both sides by 6, I get a value for x at 16. Now, in order to solve for the missing sides of this triangle, I already have the value for x. X is 16. Therefore, I can substitute 16 into the x of each expression. Since the two sides are congruent, I only need to substitute once. So 3 times 16 plus 23, that is the same as 48 plus 23 is equal to 71. So the length of side 1 is 71 units, and the length of side 2 is also 71 units.